So my name is Jason Wilmot. I'm the head of education at Canva. I've been here for about 4 months, but I actually spent the last 17 years at Microsoft leading their education technology team. And I'm excited to have George Lee. I'll let George do a quick intro alongside of me.
So my name is George Lee. I teach at San Francisco Balboa High School. I've been teaching for the last 27 years. And I started using Canva and I got so excited about all the possibilities. So I'm here to share some of my experience of using Canva as, Jason presents.
Great. And please, once again, just give us a little bit about your name, what school, what age group you're presenting. We'd love to learn a little bit more and potentially tailor the presentation a little bit more to grades if we have to. If we know we have a lot of elementary teachers or primary or middle school or a certain district or administrators, we can definitely take a spin on that as well. But to respect everybody's time, I'm going to get started. So how many of you guys are familiar? If you can give me a 1 to 10 number, 10, you're a Canva expert, 1, you've never heard of it. If you can give me a 1 to 10 in the chat window as well, that would be great. Just to say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a 5, I'd like to be a 10, or I have no clue what Canva is and I just showed up to have lunch and learn. All right, we got a 1 there. 7, okay. I like it, Carlos, 4.9. All right, well, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna get started and feel free to keep going. So we've got 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, what we wanna do is quickly introduce Canva for Education, talk to you about some of the features. Our goal is for each and every one of you to walk away, set up and logged in, and then we can run through a practical exercise as well. We will share lesson ideas, activity templates. George will talk a little bit about how he uses it in the classroom. We'll talk a little bit about administration features, and then finally just help wanted handy resources. So we really want to get through the next 25 minutes, engage, have some fun, and make you guys do a little bit of homework. So with that, for those of you who are not familiar, I know we got some 1s and 3s on Canva for Education. Canva for Education is a platform where everyone can create, collaborate, and then from a student perspective, the ability to assign and work as a teacher and a student or as a student and a student, project-based learning. We have millions of premium images, graphics, fonts, videos. We have amazing tools such as the background removal that is a fan favorite as it comes to teachers. You can do presentations, voice layovers, video recording. It is a comprehensive platform that allows everybody to become a designer. We have real-time collaboration that you can collaborate back and forth. And once again, it's an all-encompassing platform that we have. And the best thing about it is 100% free for K through 12 education. So hopefully you're coming from a school or a district in San Diego that you would like to share it with, because it's 100% free. There's no upsell, there's no opportunity. You guys are enabled to Canva for Education, which is equivalent to Canva Pro. And once again, has a lot of great classroom features we'll go through. So I'm going to continue to move fairly rapidly to make sure everybody gets set up and logged in. So while you're with me right now, hopefully all of you have an account. I'd ask you to sign in right now to your Canva account. If you don't have a Canva account, if you can go to canva.com/edu-signup and use your school or department email and sign up, or use your Google certified email domain to sign up as well. We're going to ask each and every one of you to log in and go through a quick exercise with us, and we're going to share that with one another. So if you could please go now, sign in with your account if you have it. If you don't have it, sign up for one right here, and we'll make sure we get you guys activated on Canva for Education. Or if you're a Microsoft Teams school and you use Office 365, you can sign up with Microsoft. Or if you're a Clever school, you can sign up with Clever as well. So these are some alternate options to help you get going. So I'm going to wait about 30 seconds here and make sure everybody gets signed up and signed in. And if you can give me a yes, no, or if you're having issues, please feel free to communicate with us in the chat. It's a small group, so I want to make sure we get everybody on boarded as well. So just give me a yes if you're signed in, a no if you're not, and an I don't know if you don't know what you're doing and maybe we can help. Yes, yes, all right, great. If you have a login, just log into it. Peter, if you think you're signed up, try to sign up. That would be great. If not, just, you can sign up with a new email address or feel free to follow along. All right, So it looks like we've got some folks signed in. So the next thing I'm going to show you before our practical exercise is how do you actually go get your students signed up? So we worked on getting teachers signed up, and if you go to that canva.com/education, you can sign up teachers. But when it comes to students, once again, we have a different sign-on process for students. While we are working with ClassLink and Clever, as well as Schoology and Canvas from a single sign-on perspective, there's some basic things you can actually do within the application to invite your students, which will be really great to run activities such as the one we're going to run. So when you go to your class space, this is what it should look like. And if you're signed into Canva right now and you're in a education account, you'll see this little classwork tab here. If you don't have that classwork tab, that means you're in a consumer account. For this exercise, that's okay. It's not a big issue. But if you do want to get upgraded to Canva for Education, I can drop my email address in the chat window after the meeting and we'll get you guys set up. Once you have your class space, you can see that designs here is where all the work that you're going to create and share can be shared with your classes. You also have templates and groups. Groups are small groups of people. They can be teachers, they can be other students, they could be a whole class. They're really about how you define that group and with that assignment that you're actually creating. And so when you go to the people page, it gives you the ability to invite students and teachers. And this is inviting them into your class space. So you just need the email address here for the student. And this little drop down will allow you to invite teachers as well. We do have a quick, easy import button from Google Classroom that you can also use in terms of importing your students from Google Classroom. Once again, if you're a Schoology or a Canvas customer, we're working on integrations with them. So you'll continue to see a lot of innovation come from Canva for Education. And this is just a quick video of how you would actually invite the people if you're using Google Classroom. It's a quick little process that you can import your students, whether they're your year 4 class or a different class, click import, and then they will once again be invited to join onto your Canva for Education classroom. Students will have to accept the invitation, so they'll get a quick mail notifying them that they've been invited to the class, and then they can accept the invitation to the class. We have the same capability via Clever, where you can actually invite via Clever. So if you're a Clever school, you can actually set up and make sure that your students are invited via Clever as well. So we have lots of different options in terms of signing up and signing in. Your students will then be directed to join the class. They'll be told they've been invited to that class where they will be able to join. And then they just sign in and have the capability of sharing back to the class. So hopefully you guys have now learned how to invite teachers and students. So we're going to go through a quick practical exercise now. So hopefully everybody who's joined has Canva up and running here. And the practical exercise I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to create an About Me teacher poster. We're going to spend the next 5 minutes and allow you guys to create, and I'll share my About Me poster. Hopefully George will share his as well. But I'd like you guys now to log into Canva. And I'm going to exit out of this for a second here to show you my About Me video here. And when you log into Canva, you can actually search for the School About Me poster. It will give you a bunch of different templates like this. I'm actually going to share my template with you guys just in case you say, I actually just want to use Jason's template. Feel free to use my template there. When you click on it, you can make a copy. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an About Me poster. This is a very common exercise at the beginning of the year, both with teachers and students. You can have your students create their own About Me, or the teachers create About Me. You maybe have used a tool such as Flipgrid and you have video, as well as Canva for Education gives you the capability to add images, text, photos. So it really allows you to tell the true story about yourself. So what we're going to do is you're going to search a School About Me poster, select your favorite poster, or click mine, and you can just log into mine and use mine. And then you're going to update it. You're going to update photos, facts, and then I'd like you to go up here and share. So if you go to share and you give folks viewing rights, copy the link and paste it in the chat window. That way each of us can see and learn a little bit about you. So while we're doing that, I'll quickly go to mine, and it's great. I can see Eric's now logged in. Encore is logged in, and Elizabeth is logged in. So I can see that these individuals are now logged into mine. They may be writing over mine because I did give everybody edit rights, and there's George. This could be a collaborative exercise if you want. And while you're working on your poster, so if you want to start working on your poster right now, that'd be great. I'll show you some cool capabilities. You can actually drag and drop photos to replace. You'll notice that it's a square photo. It replaced it in the image. You can go slide to slide. I'm going to drag this one in here. That's great. You can see that I've got a video added now of my son here who plays basketball. So I've actually shared a little bit both from an image, a video, a text, and I'm able to completely share about me. So hopefully you guys are now working on your about me videos. We've got about 4 minutes left, so it doesn't have to be anything fantastic. I think this one took me about 5 minutes to create here.
Can I say something, Jason, about this?
Absolutely, George. I would love to hear from the educator.
Jason introduced, because most of us are teachers in this, in this conference here, but one thing that I've done, something very similar to this, is instead of having just being the teacher, or just about me as a teacher, what we've done is we have done it for the class. And the nice thing about this is that if you kind of scroll down, all the different pages can be kind of divided up into different students. So imagine this template now being used, about me, like say about a particular class. So the collaboration among the students is all working at the same time. It becomes like a really, really collaborative and fun way for the students to meet each other, in this particular assignment. So it's actually a really good template for collaborative assignment within a class too.
Yeah, that's great, George. And you'll see that I've created mine as a video here, so I could actually download the video. If I had just done an about me presentation, I'd have the same capability to download the presentation as a PDF or a JPEG file. I could then print it, put it all around the room, as George was saying. So it really allows you to, use video, use context, use pictures, images. And then once again, you could create and have your whole class. I could give George page 4 to work on. Let's see who else is in here. I could give Elizabeth page 5, Eric page 6. And once again, I could have an entire about me class that I could now share with the entire class.
That's great. And it kind of like, the students, once they start working on this, because they see what other people have done, like say on page 2 or page 4, really there's this kind of a really fun, interactive, sharing the inspirational thing. Because sometimes people who are not very visually kind of, at a higher level, they can look at somebody that have much more of a visual language background and kind of be inspired by that. And the nice thing about this is that on the left-hand side, all the elements and the tabs, all those ready-made tools allow a person that is not very visual to have all those visual, basically repository, and join the game. It becomes a really, really fun thing to watch, when you're the teacher, because you see all those images just start popping up. It's kind of like you ask what the students are thinking. You can actually see the students thinking in real time. That is amazing for a teacher to see,
Yeah, and that's great, George. And while you guys are working on your video, we'll give you another 2 minutes. I can't wait to see the first about me presentation or video. I'll show you guys some tips and tricks. So once again, you'll notice that my Bitmoji is actually connected to my account. So if you go down to these 3 little dots here, you can see where you can connect your Bitmoji, connect your Facebook, and other types of platforms that you can actually use to bring in those elements. And so once I'm searching my elements here, I can see that these are now my Bitmojis. I can simply drag, drop. I actually love to cook. I'm not great at it, but good. I also like to work out, so I'm gonna drop that in there. And you can see I'm just filling in a little bit about myself. The other thing I can do is I can actually upload my media. So here's an image of my son playing football in Las Vegas. And so once again, I've now dropped that in there. I'm gonna delete that, but you can see I can upload personal photos as well as personal videos. I don't know if I have any videos in here, but you can see here that I can upload video or just audio file. Is there any way to download as a PowerPoint? Yes, so Lisa, one of the things is you'll notice that I actually created a video file, so I can't download a video file as a PowerPoint, but let me show you what I would do if I were to do that. Let's see if I've got a different file here. Let's see. I'm going to open up an Earth Day thing that George did for me just to show. So let me show you the different types of files that when I click download here. These are the different files I have. So I've got PNG, a PDF. So if I were to download this as a PowerPoint, I would actually download as a PDF file, Lisa. So there's not a direct download into PowerPoint yet, but if you do it as a PDF, you could quickly move that over as well. And it looks like we've got the first About Me video, so hopefully we'll see another one. Mrs. Marisa, fur grandbaby named Boots, cat. Favorite subject is driver's ed. One son that is 26. Awesome. It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Marisa. Anybody else? Post their video. We'll give it another 2 minutes and hopefully I get a couple more. I want to embarrass a few people. Come on now. And please post your questions. I'll continue to show little tips and tricks here that you can see. Once again, this is the download button. I have the sharing up here. Once again, I can share it with specific people. I could share it with a group. Or once again, I can actually share it through different mechanisms here in terms of how I want to share it. And we'll show you how to post to Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom in a second. So we'll give you guys 2 more minutes. Hopefully everybody's working away on your About Me poster.
Another nice function is that you can leave comments. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Jason? Is that?
Yeah, George, if you talk about it, I'll show them how to do it.
Yeah,
while you're
so
talking.
one of the nice thing about it is that say if you're posting this for the class to do each one of them. So when you go onto the template, all you need to do is just tap on the image and then there's a nice little comment, you know, that comment box that just pops up like a kind of a speaking bubble. And then you can do add, and then because the student has signed up, they can literally respond to that comment. So it becomes kind of like a running commentary as you're going through the lesson. You can take it to the next day, the next week. So it's now on record, the comments that you have made, and they can respond to that. So it engages the students and the teachers in this nice communication. So that's a really, really good thing. And other people's, you know, can kind of come in and make comments, you know, so it's a very good way of sharing kind of the inspiration and the creativity. And again, one of the things that I found about working with Canva is that it opens up this entire collaborative comments, things that I never had before. The best thing that I used before was Google Docs, right? But then Canva has literally opened up this Pandora's box of visual language, and especially with students that I teach who sometimes English is not their first language. So now we defer now to the visual language, and now it includes, it's a very, very inclusive app for all learning abilities. I mean, and that's something that I really kind of inspired me and kind of got me really excited about Canva and using it in my classroom because of this, because of the students that I teach.
That's great. Thanks, George. And so while we're waiting on I want to see one more About Me video, so hopefully people are working. You'll notice that you can design anything, and there's a couple different ways. I'm going to switch over here. So I'm going to go into a district test account here. Obviously, I can search up here. So if you want to do a math worksheet and see the type of math worksheets we have, you can do this. And you can see here that, you know, I can pick a worksheet that I like. I can pick a worksheet that I want to use. But even if I'm at home, I can see what some of the trending applications, some of the trending education templates are. So I can see this group work is trending. I can scroll over here. I can pick different things here. I got education presentation, infographics, English worksheets, science worksheets. If you're in younger grades, flashcards that you can take, math worksheets. If you want to build a lesson plan, you can see that you can really design anything in a very positive manner and make it look very professional, right? If you are sending out parent newsletters, or if you're doing a student certificate, we have the capability to design any of that. I was meeting with a school on Friday who said, hey, I'm working with my students to create a magazine. How could I do that? In real time, we went into this magazine and they actually picked a magazine template. They put, as George would do, individual student names on each page, and the whole class was going to create a magazine together. That came out in a webinar that we did. So that's one really exciting example of how you can use Canva for education in the classroom. So it looks like we got the, go ahead, George.
Marissa just asked the question, and I think that this is something that, you know, is a really relevant question, because She asked if you make the changes, does it save? I mean, the beautiful thing about Canva is you're saving it in real time. So whatever the last changes that you made is now saved. So you don't need to kind of do anything, to kind of manage that. So whatever you created, the last version of it is already saved. So the next time you come back to it is where you left it off. So that's a really, really powerful thing, and it's saved in the Canva classroom, in that artwork. So that's great. Another thing I wanted to say a little quickly is that a lot of the times, Jason said, there's all this existing templates, right? It's really, really daunting to kind of have a blank page, and most people have a hard time with that. So what Canva has done is, I love this idea of democratizing design. It gave access to people that don't have that visual language skills. Literally, they put them above 60%. So what ends up happening is that we are now able to become creative with our content instead of having to worry about the layout, which is probably the thing that stopped people from being creative in the first place. So Canva literally democratized and made it accessible to everybody. And that's a real practice by using those templates that Jason was talking about, like the magazine.
Yeah. And that's great, George. And this is a great use here. Thanks, Mr. Mondragon. Used animated, the animated aspect of a presentation to make it come to life. So really nice job. So we get to continue the presentation. No, I'm kidding. We would have continued anyway, but I'm glad. And hopefully you guys will continue to work on the About Me, and you guys can do this with your students as well. So really quickly, I know we have 7 minutes left, and this is a quick lunch and learn. George and I will both drop our email addresses in the chat window, and we're happy to go deeper. I know some of you want to go from a 4 to 10. I think we can do that within an hour. About 23 minutes is kind of hard, so we're kind of managing a time zone here. But what I wanted to leave you with is a ton of different lesson ideas and activity templates that you can bring back to your classroom in terms of what you guys can do. And as George was stating, we have over 60,000 education-specific templates to help you get inspired. You don't have to stare at a white piece of paper. You don't have to stare at a green piece of paper. You can if you want, and you really want to do that, but you don't have to. So once again, we have education presentations, visual art lessons, math, creative writing lesson plans. There's tons of different education presentations that you can actually pick from, and you don't have to just create your own. Lesson plans. I know you guys have a wealth of lesson plans, but if once again, you want to drop a quick lesson plan, use one of our templates. It's a really great method where you can quickly update, add, copy, cut, paste. We are working on import capabilities from other tools such as PDF, where you could bring it in and make it more visual. Or if you wanted to print the lesson plan on a big poster size and be able to write each week on it. You have that capability too as you guys enter back into the classroom over the coming months into next year. Posters. This is a great one in terms of student of the month, science fair posters. I know once again, I've been working with a couple districts that are moving to like virtual science fairs or cultural posters about countries that you live in. All great ideas that once again, you can have your students come pick a template. They don't have to start from scratch. They can add in more about their country via visuals, text, video, if they have video from their family. There's a lot of different methods that you can do from a poster type. Class tag announcements. We actually work with Class Dojo and Care Bears on some specific announcements, whether it be Student of the Week, a club, no matter what it may be, you have the ability to, once again, create some engaging designs within minutes, which is awesome. Student video templates. We just did the About Me video templates for teachers. We have a collection of student video templates that you can actually use in terms of creating more than just a quick Flipgrid like video. You can create the video, upload it to Canva, or record it directly in Canva, and then add so much more richness to the presentation that gives you a little bit more about the student, what they're, especially if they're creative and speak differently and maybe they're afraid of a video camera, right? You allow them to drag and drop and create design built around that. Group work activities. As you guys saw, you guys were all logged into my About Me video, but you could do a quick group brainstorming activity, a quick group mind map, checking in on how people feel from a social and emotional learning perspective. So there's a ton of different group work activities that you can do where you can have multiple students building. I've seen George do some amazing artwork where students are building on top of each other, and it's amazing what can come to life. Worksheets, we talked about the worksheets, math, science, English language. Go check it out. Type in a worksheet, an algebra worksheet if you want, and see what comes up. Virtual classroom kits, you know, this is a great backroom banner, but if you guys want to do some different backroom banners for the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to change it up for your students, Canva for Education is a great place to go start and build those. Classroom decor kits. So when you do go back into the classroom next year or whenever you guys are heading back into the classroom and you want to physically print name tag, name badges, daily activity planners, this is a great place that you can actually go design them and then physically print them, right? Just save it, download it as a PDF and file print. So once again, you can now decorate your physical classroom in terms of what the different seasons are or holidays are, and it allows you to do that. Finally, infographics. I see so many administrators now creating amazing things with infographics. Great way from a student perspective to have a couple students work together in a small group activity and collaborate to build an infographic. You know, whether it be fiction versus nonfiction, whether it be football versus soccer, you pick the things that you want. We've seen some great science infographics come to life in terms of what's happening. So it really just allows you to create different types of templates off a base template.
Can I say
I'm going to
something
move.
about the infographic?
Yeah, absolutely, George.
So
Yes.
just, you know, I mean, we as teachers, we're always kind of talking about, you know, project-based learning. So when you're talking about, you know, infographic, it really allows you to kind of jump into project-based learning so easily because the template is already there, set up as a project. So this is a very good segue into project-based learning for us teachers. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, George. And then finally, I just want to show you guys really quickly in the next 2 minutes how you can actually create an assignment and publish it to your students. Because while Canva for Education is amazing at newsletters, administration, it's even more amazing when you publish an assignment and let the student design and have it come to life. So there's really 3 options. You can do it directly in Canva, in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. Schoology and Canvas are coming soon. So really quickly, how you would do it is you'd open up here, you'd click assignment. Then once you select assignment, you'd give your assignment a description and then click next. You would assign it to either a class or a group of students or an individual students. You'd let them edit it. And then once you did that, you can see that we're assigning this to Christian. We'd click publish. It would generate an email to Christian where once again, Christian would have an assignment that would be waiting for him to actually complete. Students would then log into Canva. They would get a notification that says to start their assignment. They would start their assignment and then they would once again edit it and they would click submit to back to the teacher once it's done. And you can really quickly see how this will work in this video here. There's a quick send to teacher button up there. And then once again, you can review it in your classwork tab. You would see all the different students that submitted the assignments. And you can add comments as we showed you earlier. From a Google Classroom perspective, you would actually go from the top right, you would select Google Classroom. Once you've selected Google Classroom, you would actually have to log into your Google Classroom. You would select the class you want to assign the assignment to. You would select Attach to attach the design. You would select Go once it's going there. I'm moving really fast here. The video is not moving fast enough, just kidding. But once you can see here that once again, this is a quick assignment and the student would have the ability to review, excuse me, the teacher and student could review it. You could actually mark it up once again, provide different anecdotes and comments in there. And that's how it would work in Google Classroom. Now, if you're a Microsoft Teams school, same capability. From the top right, you would pick Microsoft Teams. You would select assignment, you'd select the class that you're gonna assign it to, so to algebra, you would title it and have them fill out the worksheet, and then once they were done, they'd be done. So really quickly to close, we have a Facebook group that you can join. It's facebook.com/groups, Canva Teachers Community. I will also leave my email address, and George can leave his as well. So if you'd like to go from a 4 to a 10. Maybe we took you from a 4 to a 5 today. We'd be happy to jump on a webinar with your school, with your district, with anybody. We appreciate you taking the evaluation and giving us any feedback. But it was a very quick overview. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to George or myself. If you want new activities, George can help you with activities he's ran in the classroom. If you have any feature function questions, please send them to us. So with that, thank you so much for joining the Lunch and Learn, and I hope that you guys have a great day.